let's explore the fundamental concept of pronouns. A pronoun is a versatile word used to replace a noun in a sentence, which helps us avoid repeating the same name over and over. For example, instead of saying, Rahul is a student, Rahul studies hard, we say, Rahul is a student, he studies hard. Remember, pronouns make our language smoother and more efficient. Moving on to personal pronouns. These are used to refer specifically to people or things. They change form depending on whether they are the subject performing the action or the object receiving it. For instance, I is a subject pronoun, while me is an object pronoun. Keep this table in mind as you build your sentences. Now, let's talk about possessive pronouns, which are used to show ownership. Unlike possessive adjectives, these pronouns stand alone in a sentence without needing a noun after them. For example, saying, "This bike is his," clearly identifies the owner. It is a simple way to indicate that something belongs to someone. Here's an important concept. Reflexive and emphasizing pronouns share the same forms, such as myself or themselves, but function differently. Reflexive pronouns reflect the action back onto the subject, like I looked at myself. Emphasizing pronouns, however, are used to add extra focus to the subject, such as I cooked dinner myself. Notice how the context changes the meaning. Let's understand demonstrative pronouns, which we use to point at specific items. The words this, that, these, and those help us identify exactly what we are discussing. A key rule to remember is that you should never place a noun immediately after these pronouns. For example, we say, this is mine, not this book is mine, if we want to use it as a pronoun. Next, we'll look at distributive pronouns, which refer to members of a group individually rather than as a whole. Words like each, either, and neither help us focus on single units within a larger set. For instance, each of the students highlights every person separately. This is very useful for being precise in your descriptions. Now, consider relative pronouns, which act as bridges between two parts of a sentence. They introduce a relative clause and connect it to the noun they modify, using words like who, which, or that. For example, the girl who won the race uses who to link the subject to the action. These pronouns are essential for creating complex, descriptive sentences. Let's explore indefinite pronouns, which refer to people or things without specifying exactly who or what they are. Words like everyone, somebody, or few are perfect when the specific identity is unknown or unnecessary. Remember that some of these take singular verbs, while others take plural verbs, depending on the context. They add flexibility to your communication. Next, we'll look at interrogative pronouns, which are specifically used to ask questions. Words like who, what, and which allow us to seek information about people or objects. For example, whose car is this? Uses a pronoun to inquire about possession. These are the building blocks for gathering information in any conversation. To conclude our lesson, let's recap the 9 types of pronouns we have covered today. From personal and possessive to relative and interrogative, Each type serves a unique purpose in making our sentences clear and concise. Practice identifying these in your daily reading to master their usage. Thank you for joining this session on English grammar.